The Undivine. Hello, this is Chris speaking, Shores of Infinity, with a video about the Divine and the Undivine, Chapter 4 in Sri Aurobindo's The Life Divine, Book 2. This is a tricky chapter, so I will make it as short and as easy as possible. It's an age-old question of philosophy, spirituality, and religion. Is there something like the undivine? If everything is the divine, if the divine is omnipresent and all-powerful, can there be something that is not divine? There have been two popular solutions to this question. One is the solution of the monotheistic religions. Yes, there is something like the undivine during our life, and the aim is to get to what we call paradise, where everything will be divine, we will be liberated of the undivine. The other solution is that of Buddhism and many spiritual teachings like Advaita, where you say, no, everything is illusion, so there's neither a divine nor an undivine. It's all just wishful thinking. We cannot imagine that there's not a divine, so we make up things like divine and undivine and God and gods and goddesses and so on. But in actual fact, there's nothing. But both of these two solutions are not satisfactory to Sri Aurobindo. The first one is nonsensical to him, to live in a hell on earth and work towards a paradise beyond death. And the second one is out of the question. That there's nothing is out of the question because, well, he spent the previous 31 chapters explaining that there must be something. There is something. We can call it the divine or not, but there is something, so we cannot claim that there's nothing. But then on first glance we're back to square zero, where we have to ask ourselves, okay, but if everything is the divine, why is there pain and suffering and evil and inconsciousness and ignorance? Why is it there? Why? Oh, why, Delilah? Oh, my, Delilah. To quote Shakespeare here, the question why. The question why is basically the question, why is there suffering? Which is the question, is there anything that is not divine? Because if everything is divine, why should ignorance be there? Can ignorance be the divine? If the divine is all-powerful and all-knowing, can it be ignorant? Can a part of the divine be ignorant? This is what Sri Aurobindo calls the fundamental contradiction of the omnipresent reality. There seems to be a real limitation of consciousness, but there can't be. But for him, things like ignorance, error, limitation, suffering, division, discord is not a disproof or denial of the divine. The trouble again is our ego and our dual mind, which thinks in either or, in black and white context. It cannot comprehend a third solution. Must things either be good or bad, divine or undivine, God or the devil? No. Well, we know that what we call reality is actually Maya or Leela, the cosmic game. But Maya is not the devil. Maya is neither undivine nor evil. Maya is an architect. And the same goes for our ego. Our ego is a limitation, yes, and it's steeped in ignorance, yes, but it's not evil and it's not undivine. We have said previously that the greatest joy, the greatest ananda is surprise. You cannot play hide and seek if you know where everyone is hidden. But of course, you probably won't experience life as a constant joy and bliss. If the divine is experiencing this human experiment as joy and ananda, but we as individual human beings that make up humanity don't, then this seems cruel. And he writes, a manifestation of this kind, self-creation or lila, would not seem justifiable if it were imposed on the unwilling creature. So here we're back to another age-old philosophical and spiritual question, the question of free will. Is there anything like a free will? And if yes, when the fuck did I choose this here? When did I choose to experience this, to participate in this? I don't remember. Excuse my French. So what does he mean? It's not imposed on the unwilling creature. He writes, there must have been not only the will of the divine Purusha to make the cosmic creation possible, but the assent of the individual Purusha to make the individual manifestation possible. Meaning, at some point, the individual Purusha, which is our soul, our souls, have agreed to participate in this lila, in this maya, even if we don't remember. But when and how is this supposed to have happened? This presupposes something like reincarnation. And indeed, Sri Aurobindo says there is something like reincarnation. Maybe not reincarnation, but something like reincarnation. And definitely we have an undying, eternal soul. Sometimes he calls it soul, sometimes psychic being, and so on. So before we live this life as an individual, a apparent individual, seeming individual, before we experience this individuality, we assent to participate in this game. We assent to forget momentarily. We agree to the limitations of ignorance and of ego. And then he reminds us that what do we enjoy the most? Yeah, many of you might say, okay, lying at the beach, I enjoy the most. But for how long? In actual fact, what we enjoy the most is to overcome difficulties. If something is too easy for too long, it stops being enjoyable. So the victory in knowledge, the victory in power, the victory in creation, the victory in creativity, the victory of achieving peace and love and union and reunion, those are the greatest joys for a human being. And this is similar to the divine as well. So we plunge into inconscience, but then we find our way back into conscience. And thus it's a reinformation of Satchitananda in its apparent opposite. And thus we are co-creators. We are like small gods. And this ego that we despise so much is a tool of utmost conscience and consciousness. It seems to be a limitation of existence, but it is really a power of infinity. Our ego plays a constant game with Maya, almost like a dog playing fetch with its master or mistress. What we're doing is the impossible, and yet we make it possible, and that is Ananda. And thus, within the infinity of all possibilities, we add even more possibilities. There are already an infinite number of possibilities, but because we make the impossible possible, we're adding to that. Yes, it's a cosmic illusion, a mind, a dream, a hallucination, but we're adding reality to it, and we're affirming it. We are negating the negation, so to say, or completing the incomplete. And the whole purpose of things seeming ignorant and undivine and evil is because of the joy of discovery, of surprise and unforeseen creation. It's the great adventure of the soul. And this also answers the question, why is there an ego? Why do we have this terrible thing that limits us so much and lets us make so many mistakes? Kind of embarrassing. Because it's a tool of chaos and creativity. This limitation also brings forth new possibilities of creativity. Often stupid creativity, but sometimes also genius. Like children, yes? Sometimes children do things which are ingenious, and as an adult you never get there. You lack this openness to all possibilities, this naive creativity that children have. And that's our job as human beings and humanity within the cosmic Leela. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the video. It helps other people find the video. Thank you for joining me as a patron. Thank you to all my patrons, and see you soon with more Sri Aurobindo Life Divine videos.